Look at this young man, 23-year-old Vickrum Digwa. To his local community in Southampton, England, he presented himself as a deeply religious, respectful man, a devout practitioner of the Sikh faith who proudly wore his turban and carried a ceremonial dagger. But behind this outward display of spiritual discipline lay a volatile, highly dangerous pathology. Experts call it weapons obsession. This is a psychological condition where an individual forms an unhealthy emotional dependency on weapons, viewing them not as tools or symbols, but as an extension of their personal power and domination. When forensic investigators later breached Vickrum's digital archives, they discovered a disturbing hidden life. He wasn't using his free time for spiritual reflection. He was recording himself in his bedroom, shadowboxing, and aggressively practicing tactical knife combat. For Vickrum, cold steel was a fetish. His mind was constantly rehearsing a scenario where he would use it to assert absolute dominance over someone. And on a dark street corner in October 2024, that exact fantasy found its target. His path crossed with 18-year-old Henry Nowak. Henry was a promising, light-hearted university student. He didn't carry weapons. He didn't understand the dark mechanics of predatory violence. He was simply walking home after a night out with friends, completely unaware that he was about to step directly into the crosshairs of a ticking time bomb. Welcome back to Behind the Lie. Today, we are opening the shocking case file on Vickrum Digwa, a case that has sparked national outrage across the United Kingdom and led to a chilling courtroom showdown in the summer of 2026. How did a man manipulate the police using the color of his skin while his victim lay dying in handcuffs? Let's look behind the lie. The date is October 24th, 2024. The location: the vibrant, student-filled streets of Southampton, England. It is just past midnight. 18-year-old Henry Nowak is walking back from a night out, navigating the city center. At the exact same time, 23-year-old Vickrum Digwa is roaming the area. For a predator with a hidden weapon, a dark street corner isn't just a location, it's an opportunity. Forensic profilers often study a concept called the trigger of narcissistic rage. A narcissist or sociopath doesn't need a massive reason to attack. They require only a minor, perceived slight to fracture their fragile ego. As their paths crossed on London Road, a brief verbal exchange occurred. Henry, noticing Vickrum's aggressive demeanor, called him a bad man and pulled out his smartphone to record the encounter for his own safety. To Vickrum's pathologically fragile ego, being filmed and challenged was an intolerable humiliation. The mask of the peaceful student instantly evaporated, replaced by a state of predatory hyperfocus. Vickrum didn't walk away. He pursued Henry down the street. When they reached a darker patch of King Street, Vickrum lunged forward, violently snatched the phone out of Henry's hand, and drew a massive 21-centimeter combat knife. In a matter of seconds, he inflicted 5 devastating stab wounds to Henry's chest and face. Later in court, Vickrum would attempt to use a tactical defense strategy known as religious pretexting, claiming the blade was merely a kirpan, a sacred ceremonial Sikh dagger carried for spiritual protection. But forensics would shatter this narrative. The weapon wasn't a small symbolic relic. It was a lethal, military-grade combat knife, and Vickrum carried it that night with one singular purpose: to destroy anyone who dared to wound his pride. But before the police even arrived, the Digwa family had already launched their defensive cover-up, starting with a calculated call to emergency services.
Police emergency?
Yeah, we just been attacked by someone racially. Yeah, this.
Right.
He just attacked it, took his starter. Sorry? Huh? Sorry, we just got attacked racially by some white person.
Right, okay. Whereabouts are you?
We're on Belmont Road.
Just out in the street, are you?
Sorry?
You're just in the street?
Yeah, literally, I just parked up my car to come home, and he's attacked my brother.
Are you talking about verbally or physically?
No, he physically attacked my brother. We're Sikhs, we wear
Okay.
turban, and he's just attacked my brother.
Have any weapons been involved?
No.
Okay,
Leave him 1 second. I'm calling the police. Leave him. We'll restrain him, please. Sorry? Sorry, what was that?
Right, okay. Is that person still there?
Yeah, we're restraining him right now because he's just tapped my brother and took my brother's turban off.
Hold on.
Can we have
Tell me a
someone out here,
number
please, ASAP?
Yeah, you can. Tell me a number you're outside of, can you?
When the first police units arrived at the intersection of Belmont Road at 2337, they didn't see a killer and a victim. They saw a masterful psychological performance. Vickrum Digwa stood under the streetlights, his hands covered in blood, but his body language was completely calm. He didn't run. He practiced a tactical manipulation known as preemptive victim framing. Before the officers could even look at the ground, Vickrum weaponized the most sensitive social trigger in modern Britain, racism. He looked the officers in the eyes, adjusted his clothes, and repeatedly lied, claiming that Henry had launched a hate-fueled racial attack against him and knocked off his turban. Look at Vikram's autonomic baseline on the body cams. His breath is shallow but steady, his tone is cooperative, and his posture is open. He was hiding his predatory satisfaction behind a mask of cultural vulnerability, and the police completely bought the illusion. While 18-year-old Henry Nowak lay in the driveway, bleeding out from 5 catastrophic stab wounds, the officers ignored his agonizing cries. As Henry repeatedly gasps, "I've been stabbed and I can't breathe," the police trigger a devastating phenomenon known as confirmation bias. Believing Vikram's story, they treat the dying student as the hostile aggressor. In a sequence that sparked nationwide riots, the officers forcefully roll Henry onto his stomach and slap iron handcuffs behind his back. Vikram stands just feet away, watching his dying victim get arrested for his own murder. There is no horror in Vikram's micro-expressions, only absolute detachment. He even complains to the officers that the blue police strobes are hurting his eyes, displaying the ultimate chilling hallmark of a psychopath: total emotional annihilation. While the public was reacting to the disturbing video of Henry Nowak in handcuffs, the machinery of a criminal cover-up was operating in the back of a police transport van. On December 5th, just 36 hours after the murder, Vickrum Digwa and his 27-year-old brother Gurpreet were being driven from the police station to court. They spoke in Punjabi, completely unaware that the vehicle was bugged with a hidden state surveillance microphone. This recording captures a chilling psychological phenomenon known as collusive lying, when family networks immediately form a defensive apparatus to alter the truth, bypass internal moral conflict, and actively defeat justice. When Gurpreet whispers to his brother, "What did you do? Did you even do anything?" Vikram's defensive wall drops. He doesn't mention self-defense or a racial attack. Instead, he points to his body and calmly confesses, "One here, towards the face, and one on the chest," but notice the reaction of his brother. Instead of horror, Gurpreet immediately transitions into active legal manipulation. When Vikram admits he used a shura, the Punjabi word for a combat knife, Gurpreet aggressively commands him to change his terminology. He says, "You should say that you have used a kirpan. Speak with the solicitor first and get Duri written down. Let's analyze this." Gurpreet was calculating a cultural defense strategy in real time. He instructed his brother to hide a lethal military-grade dagger behind the shield of a small, legally protected religious symbol. This wasn't panic. It was a cold, calculated restructuring of a murder narrative, proving that inside the Digwa household, the absolute preservation of the family line completely superseded the value of a dying teenager's life. But the conspiracy to cover up the murder of Henry Nowak extended far beyond the brothers in the police van. While Henry lay dying on Belmont Road, a critical component of the forensic puzzle completely vanished from the crime scene: the 21-centimeter combat knife. For 8 long days, forensic teams scoured the streets, unable to locate the murder weapon. The shocking reason behind this delay was a process psychologists call pathological family allegiance, where parental protective instincts override all social boundaries, moral laws, and human empathy. On the night of the attack, Vikram's 53-year-old mother, Kiran Kaur, arrived at the chaotic scene. But she didn't call an ambulance for the bleeding teenager. Instead, she executed a cold tactical maneuver. She recovered the weapon, slipped it past responding emergency units, and transported it back to their family home on St. Denis Road. When tactical police units finally executed a search warrant on the property, they discovered the lethal blade hidden deep inside Vikram's bedroom wardrobe, placed alongside other religious swords. By hiding the blood-stained evidence, Kiran Kaur committed a severe obstruction of justice, actively sabotaging the critical first hours of the investigation. In July 2026, the structural walls of the family's defense collapsed completely. Kieran Carr stood in the dock at Winchester Crown Court, weeping as the judge handed her a strict 3-year prison sentence. Let's look at the dark psychological reality here. In this family unit, protecting a killer from the consequences of his actions was more important than a mother's basic moral duty to an innocent boy who had just been executed on her doorstep. In June 2026, the long-awaited day of reckoning finally arrived at Winchester Crown Court. Vickrum Digwa stood in the dock, his constructed wall of racial lies completely dismantled by forensic reality. The jury rejected his claims of self-defense, finding him guilty of murder. The judge handed down a mandatory life sentence, ordering him to serve a minimum of 21 years before even being considered for parole. But inside the courtroom, the atmosphere didn't clear. It erupted into a state of intense collective trauma. As Vickrum was led away, Henry's father, Mark Nowak, stood before the media. His voice trembled with a devastating form of grief as he compared the inhumane and degrading treatment his dying son received from the police to the complete decency and comfort officers showed his murderer at the scene. This systemic failure triggered a powerful psychological phenomenon across the United Kingdom: mass moral outrage. The release of the bodycam footage acted as a societal catalyst, sparking nationwide protests and riots that landed even global figures like Elon Musk and J.D. Vance in fierce debates over British justice. But the legal war isn't completely finished. Just weeks after the verdict, the Solicitor General, Ellie Reeves, officially intervened, branding Vickrum's 21-year term as unduly lenient and demanding the Court of Appeal increase his prison sentence. Simultaneously, the Independent Office for Police Conduct launched a gross misconduct investigation into the 2 arresting officers who failed to recognize that Henry was choking on his own blood. The academic and cultural masks failed. Vickrum Digwa thought he could weaponize the modern legal system to hide a brutal act of narcissistic rage. But in the end, behavioral analytics and hidden state microphones exposed the truth. The family that lied together collapsed together, leaving a nation to mourn an innocent boy and question the very institutions designed to protect us. Drop your thoughts below. Do you believe the police response was a product of deceptive manipulation or a catastrophic failure of training? Thank you for watching Behind the Lie. Stay vigilant.